Could it be?
Yes.
Indubitably. I don't know, man.
It is definitely
Copacetic.
As I see it.
It's perfectly copacetic.
Hello, everybody. I'm Harker. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Brad and Hyrum, and today we're joined with a special guest, Isaac. And this is the It's Copacetic podcast. Today we have a number of things to talk about. Brad, would you like to get us started?
Well, today I've been pondering something, and it has to do with Hyrum.
Oh, gosh.
You see, he keeps talking about this upcoming event in this world that happens annually, and it drives me utterly insane. It's called the McRib. So the McRib is going to be happening again soon, and apparently people plan their life around this, and I do not. So I would like to talk about, why do you guys think the McRib is so popular, and why is it not always on the menu?
Okay, first off, I think it's important that we get a lay of the intellectual landscape. What is everybody's thoughts on the McRib? Isaac, what do you think?
I think the McRib is kind of trash. I never really liked the barbecue that came with the McRib. Like, McRib without any ribs in it, it's just a travesty, honestly. How can you even call it ribs?
You know, that's...
It's just a slab of meat with cheap barbecue sauce. And like, that's good and all, but when you try to sell it as tasty, then it's just bad.
Well, you know, I think you brought up a good point that there's no bones in it, but I feel like a sandwich with bones would be kind of hard to consume. Why not
just start serving ribs? I mean, I feel like I'm eating one of my school lunches back from elementary.
Well, you know, honestly, that might be part of the appeal. Is just the nostalgia of bygone era. I don't know.
No bueno.
So here's my take on this McRib situation.
Oh, yeah, yes, Hyrum, give us
So,
your take.
the McRib, right? Why is it popular? You know, that's the discussion here. And, you know, in my, expertise, having eaten a McRib or two in my life, I think it has something to do with humanity's desire to push the limits of society, right? You hear the words McRib, and you think, that's insane. Ribs on a sandwich?
Okay.
It can't be, right? But so, because there's bones in ribs, how could they put that on a sandwich? And then you go to McDonald's and you have a McRib and it's just like, wow, it's just like you'd never expect. It defies all expectations. It pushes the very boundaries of what a sandwich can be.
You ever have like a shredded pork sandwich?
Or even like a pulled pork sandwich? Oh yeah, it's not like I work at a barbecue restaurant.
It's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
If they just compress the meat into a slab, that's what it would be.
It's like the Pringles of sandwiches.
Yeah, McDonald's is the king of pre-chewed food.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's pre-chewed ribs that's been pressed back into it. They even bother to put those little ridges in it to make it like as if it is a rib.
You know what that always reminded me of? Like a football. Like a football. I seen that McRib, I felt like I'm about to throw this sucker over that mountain.
Although, let's be real here.
I'm gonna throw it at some kid.
As much as we're kind of trashing on it, it is acceptable in my opinion.
No, it's not, Harker.
I give it like a 6 out of 10. It's not very good at all, but it's not.
I'll give it the desert rating. What I mean by that is, like, if I was trapped out in a desert for a couple of days and I wandered into town and I was hungry, and somebody gave me a McRib, I'm not going to balk twice. I'm going to down that McRib. I'm going to eat it. I'm going to take in those calories. But I'm with Isaac. I'm not a fan of my pre-chewed meat being like bathed in barbecue sauce and then it's slapped on. I think what they do is they submerge the meat in barbecue sauce, and then they also put barbecue sauce on the buns and then throw this submerged meat on it. Because there's no way you can get that much barbecue sauce on a normal sandwich.
Meat.
At least that's how I think they do it.
Just marinate in straight Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
You keep saying this pre-chewed meat thing. That sounds like a deal to me. It's already chewed. I don't even got to chew it.
No, it's the same thing as their Filet-O-Fish, okay? I mean, fish don't come in squares. They don't come in squares.
Well, by that logic,
it's mechanically processed fish that's then pressed into a square.
Well, let's see.
And
Here's
then
the
breaded
thing.
and fried.
But meat in general doesn't come in slices. It's not like they go and pluck it off the vine and like a slice. Like that. That's kind of disingenuous.
Okay, but yeah, meat in general doesn't come in slices. But I can go to the store and buy meat that's sliced, like from the animal that it's from. They've processed it and they've sliced it. They haven't ground it up like hamburger. I mean, yeah, a hamburger's the same thing. You can argue that. It's pressed into a patty.
But hamburgers are good.
It's like one time.
Hamburgers are delicious.
It's like one time someone called out Wendy's for like how the square burger felt unnatural, and then Wendy's was like, "Oh yeah, because the round burgers. That's just how they grow them in the orchards."
I get that, but I'm not saying that. I'm saying like the mechanical process of all of the foods. The chicken nugget. You can't tell me that that's an actual chunk of chicken.
You're not about to go off dissing on the Dino Nuggies, are you?
No,
I like chicken nuggets.
Because I'm a fan of their chicken nuggies. I even like those hot and spicy ones. Those things are delish.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though. You're a fan of chewed up chicken. You're a fan of chewed up beef. Why not just accept chewed up pork?
No, it's not about chewed up pork. Like Isaac said, even if it was it tastes like pulled pork sandwich is what it tastes like.
So what's the problem?
I didn't say I didn't like the only thing I don't like about the flavors. I think it's too much barbecue sauce. I agree there. I wish you could get it light sauce or something. I've never tried to order it that way, but I don't know what they do. Like wipe it off with a napkin or something.
It's just bone dry. Give it a little rinse.
And here's a pet peeve of mine though with McDonald's, and it may be just my local one. Like I like mustard on some things, right? But like last time I went to McDonald's and I asked for a thing of mustard, they literally gave me a small cup with mustard squeezed into it because they said they didn't have any individual packets of mustard.
Oh, no.
That sounds like an individual problem with the chain, although it's kind of a minor problem.
I've tried it at like different towns. I've asked for mustard and, I'm like, go to my Chick-fil-A and get me some mustard packets on my chicken sandwich. But can't do that at McDonald's.
Chick-fil-A, give me some mustard packets on that sandwich. Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, man. What an atrocity.
You and your voices, you drive me crazy.
What a shame.
I'm sorry if I had a little southern accent there. The Chick-fil-A does it to me.
It really does, though.
But anyway.
Chick-fil-A is too powerful.
I'm with Isaac. I think it's too much barbecue sauce, and it may not be the mechanically processed meat. Okay, whatever. But a rib, when you're thinking rib.
Oh, well, yeah. It's totally disingenuous. I agree there.
Yeah. Amen. It's really.
Thank you.
It's not that good, honestly. Like, you could have anything else.
I can understand why someone would like it. I can get behind it.
Yeah, I follow that. I can see why it has its cult following that it has. That's.
And moving on to the second part of the discussion, I think that's part of the reason why that it's like a limited time thing, is because in my opinion, it wouldn't be able to stand up to the other sandwiches they offer year round. But if it's like a limited time thing, then it has like a level of exclusivity involved.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think to tell you the truth, I honestly feel that that's the only reason the McRib has a following, because
limited time.
Yeah, because it's a trash sandwich, like Isaac said. I mean, if I can just borrow your term. And if it were always available, I mean, who's going to stick with it? Who wants that much barbecue sauce?
No one. No. Oh, you'd be surprised, actually.
Southern boy.
Lots of people are about the barbecue sauce, dude. You give them like some barbecue sauce, and they're like, more. And I'm like,
you sound like you have some experience in that.
Yeah,
huh?
I mentioned earlier, I work at a barbecue restaurant. And, that's one of the things that often people get really peeved about is, they want 5 gallons of barbecue sauce with one little pulled pork sandwich.
Well, do you remind them that you do sell it in bottles that they could buy? Right?
We used to have those.
If you're a good employee.
Dude, I always be upselling. Would you like a cookie with that, sir? You know what I'm saying? I'll be out here. I've been making millions for this corporation.
Good employee.
You want to sell...
That's the industry secret. That's how they push products.
What can I get for you?
Talk to somebody condescendingly, and then they'll buy a cookie.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you like a cookie? Tell me you want this cookie. Speaking of work, man, I got some crazy work stories. Should I bust one of them out here?
Yeah, lay one on
Yeah.
us. Hiram.
Okay, so here, I'll let you guys pick. Would you like the time we called the cops on someone, or my brave act of heroism?
I stopped a mugging single-handedly.
I want to know the brave act of heroism.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
just keep things
What did you do?
generalized.
Did you
I
keep
told the
the
man to put
okra
on
from
his
getting
mask.
burnt?
Dude, every day. Anyways, I was at work with and my boss just so happened to be there because it's work. And I walk in that room and I say, my boss and I are good buddies. We're hanging out because it was.
I almost never see my boss.
Yeah, I never see him.
Well, it's like
Anyways.
weeks at a time.
It's it's real slow. We're just hanging out. We're talking about things, and I said, man, I got it's been great working here. Yeah, it's really nice. It's cool and all. But I got one problem, man. And he says, what? He's all concerned. We ain't got no Diet Dr. Pepper in the soda machine, bro. What's up with that? And he says, well, I don't know. And I said, by golly, you best be ordering some Diet Dr. Pepper, and we're going to hook that sucker up. And I made a change in the world, guys. I single-handedly manipulated.
I want to hear your exact words.
They are now going to be carrying Diet Dr. Pepper just because of me. Because of my hard work, my blood,
Really?
sweat, and tears. Yeah. I walked in there, I was like,
Your
look,
blood, sweat, and tears.
I've been here for about a year now. Okay? Hey, come on.
And I demand Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. I was like, I'm leaving if I don't get some Dr. Pepper. And so I said, you know what? And we settled and agreed as a staff that
Hit the door, buddy.
root beer is kind of trash and overrated, and so we're replacing it with Diet Dr. Pepper.
Man, I love you.
Go get your root beer elsewhere.
No, everyone
root
knows
beer's
that.
one of those drinks that you either
I'm
like it
taking
or
my
you
business
don't.
elsewhere.
Everyone
man.
knows that ginger beer is where it's at. If it doesn't make you want to die, it isn't worth your time.
I think Isaac just spat on your opinion, Harker.
Well, you know what? Allow him to spat.
Allow him to spat at me.
I will spat as much as I like, good sir.
The common folk are allowed their opinions.
Now, I like me a good ginger
Down with the
ale,
bourgeoisie, Harker.
but a ginger beer is usually just a bit
There's too much ginger.
Oh
It
yeah,
is.
it is a lot.
Way
Like
too much.
I wasn't
Ginger-
exaggerating with the it makes you want to die thing. I was 100% serious.
Makes me feel sick.
But were you joking about it being the normal root beer? That's the
Oh
important.
no, it is better than normal root beer. But
Yeah, I think
Look,
this is where I have to differ with Isaac. I'm not a fan of that
normal
root
root beer is just underwhelming.
Well, okay, I don't care that you're not a fan of root beer. I just don't want ginger beer to be any better than root beer.
I'm not saying it's like leaps and bounds ahead. I'm just saying it is superior.
You're on the wrong side
beer.
of history.
I think ginger ale is superior than ginger.
I like ginger ale.
than root beer. Now, ginger beer, I would say a root beer. I'd still lean towards that because I can actually stomach it or drink it.
No, you wanna know what's really intense? Birch beer. That stuff.
No, I've never had that I can
Just
recall.
beer.
That I
I'm
can
sorry,
Tried
I don't
some
drink.
weird drinks in my time, but
Sorry, I'm not a loser, Harker.
What?
dang, that was
Oh,
hard.
that's-
They
What?
said,
Go ahead.
oof.
Harker, you gonna let Isaac talk to you like that?
I don't know, man. I might just have to teach him a lesson. But you guys want to know?
What are you gonna do?
You
You're
guys
gonna
want to
walk
know
back?
the first
Huh?
I need
time
to
I
remind
ever
him you might
drank
be around for a
ginger
little
beer?
bit.
You guys want to know the story? The first time I ever tried ginger ale.
Oh, do tell.
This is
All
like-
right, well, do tell. It wasn't that ginger ale bold, was it?
No idea. I was like 7 at the time or something.
It's like ginger ale
It
on
was-
steroids.
It was like my first time on an airplane that I was cognizant for, and so I'm just some dumb little kid.
I usually pass
Sitting-
out
You
from
mean the
fear as soon
first
as
time you
takeoff.
remember.
Yeah.
Being on an airplane. Okay.
Yeah, and so I was sitting on this plane. I'd been separated from my parents, just for seating convenience, and so I'm sitting on this chair. And,
No, son, trust me. It's not for seating convenience. You're separated from
It
your
was my
parents
choice.
on purpose because they want some alone
no,
time.
like I said,
We
seating
were trying to lose
convenience.
you at the airport.
I meant what I said, but anyway. So the flight's going on. We're in the air, and the flight attendant starts going down the aisle with drinks, and so the dude in front of me orders ginger ale, and I was like, oh, that sounds really interesting. So when the flight attendant gets to me, I order ginger ale, But then in my
I'm glad he didn't order vodka.
But then in my 7-year-old mind, I was like, wait a minute, ale. When I said it out loud, I was like, isn't that some kind of alcohol? And so I sat there for the next 10 minutes having some sort of panic attack over what I was about to drink was like alcoholic. But then I reasoned that the flight attendant wouldn't give a stupid like 7-year-old an alcoholic beverage. So that's how I rationalized it.
Well, good on you.
Most 7-year-olds would be like, I like Fortnite and I go play outside with my friends. And, Harker's just like debating the subtle nuances of ginger ale.
I need a nice hearty ale to go with my meal.
I need a nice ale. I've seen The Lord of the Rings. I've heard that term before.
That reminds me of I went to Applebee's like twice, but this one time when I was like 12, I think.
Applebee's?
Yeah, Applebee's. But yeah, so I went there. And,
now they have some good ribs. Little riblets. They weren't bad back in the
day.
I
want my baby back.
The man's trying to tell his story.
Sorry. I'm being rude to our guest.
Yeah, but I ordered a root beer because, I'm 12 and I like sugar. I mean, like, the waitress for some reason heard it as beer, and then she just totally went with it. She's like, okay, a glass of beer for you.
What?
I said, what? No. I said, no, I said root beer. She's like, oh, I thought you said beer. And then she had to scratch out beer from her list.
Didn't Applebee's get in trouble for like putting beer in some like little kids' cups and serving it to them?
Gosh.
I think there's a news article out there on either them or Chili's, and I'm pretty sure it was Applebee's that somewhere like a parent had tasted their kids' drink, and somebody had actually put alcohol in the kids' drink.
Oh my god.
Little Timmy's about to have a neat experience.
Yeah, you get that family in your restaurant, and the little kid's being a turd, and he won't shut up, calm down. We're gonna help him out a bit.
This will relax him.
Oh, poor Timmy.
Drunk toddler.
Yeah. I think, though, that the waitress got charged. Child abuse or something like that.
Yeah. That'll do it.
Yeah, your 10-year-old gets drunk, you kind of expect something.
Now, Isaac, what is your favorite type of root beer?
I wasn't aware that was more than one type.
I like A&W or Mug, personally. Mug, though.
You like
Pretty
Mug,
good.
like Bargs, Mug.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Mug.
I should have said brand.
Mug.
What's your favorite brand?
A&W.
No. Like I said, I like Mugs. It's my personal favorite. It's sweeter, but that's pretty much why I like it. It's just sweet.
I remember as a kid seeing that can and that big dog and being like, whoa, that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That dog's got a pint, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's...
When I was younger, I used to try to rationalize brand names. Like Mug, I always thought the dog on the front was a pug. So okay, it kind of sounds like it. Maybe they just misspelled it. I don't know.
Where did this come from? We should write a book on where things come from according to Isaac. I think I would buy it.
Patch.
That would be a very good coffee table book.
It's got a picture of me in my 80s background with a white suit.
We just gotta get the right marketing team.
It's like a vaporwave sunset when you and standing in front of it.
You're just in
trust me, coffee table books, you don't need any marketing. You just throw it out there.
Put this on your coffee table.
Is the suit going to be like a Colonel Sanders suit?
You just gotta put it in those home magazines, Or it just basically just shows you a bunch of pictures of interiors.
bunch of pictures of different things there's root beer with a mug, root beer.
No.
And
Here's how you
pug, and they changed it to mug.
No, here's how you get some free marketing, okay? You break into your nearest IKEA during the night and place your book on all of the coffee tables. And then when people are going through, wanting to look at furniture, they see these fantastic coffee table books in all the displays, and they're like, man, where can I find a copy of that book? They ask the cash register people. They don't know what's going on, so they report it to their boss. Their boss needs to know. Their boss,
cash register people.
Their boss needs to know where the books came from, so he looks it up online, sees your book. They order the books to sell them to the people because they're now widely popular.
Snap back to reality.
And then boom,
Ooh, there goes gravity.
He's so
Hey, I
mad.
have a question for you, Harker.
Yeah.
Why would you need to break into an IKEA to place your book on all the coffee tables in there? Why not just take your bag of books and walk around an IKEA when they first
Well,
open
then it's
Because
not
if
cool.
peop-
and just
because-
set them around?
Because it's not cool.
You gotta go in like it's the busiest,
Yeah, you got.
so that way no one
Yeah,
knows.
you
Oh,
gotta.
it's got-
You gotta
you-
set
They're
the book
facing the
down.
crowd.
If someone sees you put the book down, they'll know what's up. But if they think that it's IKEA approved,
No, you can just like
then
you just
No,
hold
it's
it
not
up
like
like
that
you're
person's going to
flipping
be
through
there
it.
all day long,
And
though.
then,
well, yeah,
like-
but what if
and
they
then act like
record
it's
you?
there
What
all
if they
along.
record it and then they start fighting you because you're a dweeb putting your books out? Upload it to
I
World
think
Stars.
this
Fight
is
you.
you're way overthinking.
And
This
then-
is like ginger ale all over again, bro. Like I think
No,
what
but
you
I'm
need
telling
to
you,
know
if you
is
want to be cool, you have to do it stealthily. And what makes good stealth?
doing something in front of somebody and they don't notice it.
No, but what makes even that? It's impossible to get caught if no one is there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
gonna
don't
be
think
really
you
easy
need
to
to be a
break into the
ninja.
it's
IKEA.
impossible to get caught if no one's
Yeah,
there to witness
well,
this.
I
You're
mean-
saying I should kill everyone.
Risk going to jail because you broke into an IKEA to sell your book, or just like sneak around and wait
Hey,
until
look,
nobody's
you
around
need-
and
you
set
need-
down the book on a coffee table.
You need to have
They're
dedication
gonna
in
arrest
your
me.
side
They're
hustle,
gonna come
guys.
tackle me because I set down a book on their table. They're gonna,
I have a
security's
better idea. How about
barging in.
give your book away for free with the McRib today only?
Like a Happy Meal, like those little books they give out.
You run the ad,
gonna-
and then you can just wait there at the McDonald's and hand them out to everybody who gets a McRib.
Yeah, but then the security guards will just kick you to the curb.
You think they get paid enough
Yes.
to care, Harker?
I know they get.
Well, you highly over.
Is it against the law to give away books?
Well, no, but the McDonald's
No, I
will
think
kick
it's
you
encouraged,
out.
isn't it? Like they have entire book
Well,
drives just
well,
to
that
give
No,
might
away
but you
books.
can give away books, just not at the McDonald's.
Who's gonna stop me
Now,
from handing out books?
The McDonald's
I have a
security
question
guard.
for everyone on the panel.
Okay.
Will everybody allow me a question?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, it's known as
Root.
root beer, but
Mhm.
isn't ginger also a root?
Well, that is correct.
Yeah.
And many of the other
Actually, hold the phone.
um,
I just checked. Ginger is a
Ginger
spice.
is a root.
No, but
Well,
it don't. It
Isn't
comes
the
from a
hell of
root.
plant, though?
way to go, hero! But they make it from ginger root.
That's like saying that. That's like saying that pepper is a spice. Like,
You had to Google that?
It is, bro.
no, but
Well, yeah, but pepper is a spice. I could throw ash on a thing and call it spice. All right,
Hold
but
on.
where does it come from?
I just
It's a root.
checked. Salt is a spice.
Dude, it is. That's
No
the
way.
thing, though. It is.
It's paprika. Hold up. Aaron, look up if paprika.
Okay, hold up. Paprika. Actually, it's a it's a movie from 2006.
oh, do you guys
That's
know what
cool.
I learned about? I don't know if this is true. I just saw it on the internet. But apparently, you know the Magic Treehouse books?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool.
Apparently there's like an anime of them in
No
somewhere.
way.
Yeah, I don't think it's in English, but I saw it on the internet. I was like, wait a
Does it
minute.
have sub?
I don't know if it's true or
Hmm.
not. So I might be spreading false information here. But
It's a movie.
Hold on,
It's
do we
a
want to
movie.
have the argument subs over dubs
it's a
now?
movie?
Dude, don't you even say the word subs in my chat, bro. Get out of here.
Subtitles. The sacred text.
All right, why don't you propose your question then, Isaac? You genius.
Okay, that's not really a question. It's just a factual statement that subs are in fact better than dubs in animes.
Wrong.
Just because I'm an
So-
intellectual and can read over 5 words a minute.
I don't know if you're allowed to like
So-
declare yourself an intellectual.
Yeah, you are.
But,
I do it all the time.
So tell me. So before we get in, Hyrum,
Okay.
quit yelling in the mic. We want to hear from Isaac.
Yeah, hi,
Isaac,
back up.
give us your theory on why you think subs are better than dubs.
And then all rebuttal.
It's just a personal preference. It's not a rebuttal. I'll just I just feel like the anime, the subs. I don't sound like a nerd here, even though I am totally gonna sound like a total dweeb. But I feel like shut up, Hyrum. So are you? You watch anime? don't you?
Stop. Okay, just make your case. Okay.
He may watch it, but he doesn't worship it.
Yeah.
Well, who said I worship it? I got a shrine built to Dragon Ball Z in my room. Okay, so I feel like subs, it's just better. Like, it's got a better feel towards the anime because it is how it was originally intended to be. So you don't get distracted by enthusiastic voice actors.
I have to stop. You said that it's originally intended to be subtitled. So basically,
no,
I'm
saying
Japan,
it doesn't distract
it's all
from
in
like
English, and then they just throw the subtitles underneath it.
Yes.
Checkmate, loser.
Checkmate, loser.
Anyways, go ahead.
No, what I was trying to say is like it's the original feel. Like obviously, it's going to be in Japanese, Korean, wherever the anime was made, right?
Okay.
But I believe like you can tell a lot from a person's tone of voice, right? And like just take on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for example, like Caesar. That's a iconic moment. You know, Caesar. Spoiler alert: Caesar dies. But he screams out, and it sounds pretty good.
Wait,
but
so I have another concern. So you're like talking about the tone of voice and that, and really getting the sense or the feel of it. And there have been many times I've been around people that speak foreign languages, and I've totally thought either they were arguing or that something else was happening because I didn't speak the language.
Or they were Russian.
And I was really misinterpreting the tone of voice. This has happened with me with Russian accents. I mean, pretty much every time I hear somebody speak to somebody in Russian, I think they're wanting to kill each other.
Cheeky breaky. Yeah.
But like Japanese, same way. Sometimes I've heard the language and I'm just like, what? I don't understand how that is like, hi, Mom, I'm home. I don't get that.
Hold the phone. Are you telling me that if you don't understand a language, that you don't understand it?
Well, there is an element of that, because the influx or the emotion is often different for different sayings.
All jokes aside, that is 100% accurate. Yes.
Yeah, well, like it's just like I feel like with English dubs,
so
it feels like the voice actors were given the script. No, I feel like English. Well, he didn't destroy them for your information.
Yes, he
I
did.
I'm
just kidding. No.
I think I took them in my palm and I slowly closed my fingers around it and then I squeezed.
Well, I feel like English dub actors, they were given the script and then they weren't allowed to watch it. Like the anime, they weren't allowed to like watch anything. So just, all right, give what you think would happen in a stereotypical anime.
Yeah, but I don't think that's how animes are dubbed over. I think that the actors are very much watching the show.
Well, then why does it always feel so strange to watch it dubbed?
I don't think it does because I've watched
overdoing it.
Shows that I know, like that My Hero Academia, for instance, the one I just watched because of my daughter, and I thought they did a really good job with the dubs there, as far as with putting in the intended emotion, the intended confusion, stuff like that. I think it went really well. I mean, I guess it's just like anything else. There can be crappy movies too, but there could probably be some crappy dubs out there.
Imagine Nicolas Cage doing every anime.
Oh no, that might
Don't
that
get me
would
started
be
on
interesting.
Nick Cage, man.
That'd be great.
I know Hyrum worships him, but I think he's trash.
He's the best actor of all time. Con Air is the greatest movie I've ever seen.
Who else has a dinosaur?
I do love
skull
Con
in his
Air
house?
though, but
No,
I
guys,
don't.
you
I
guys,
don't like
you
some
guys
of
are
his
missing
things.
the point. You guys are forgetting about Ghost Rider.
Harker's obsessed with Ghost Rider. He loves it.
The only thing that would make Ghost Rider cool is if they brought him into the greater universe and used
like
him.
mainstream Marvel.
Well, is he DC or Marvel? I think he's Marvel.
He's
right?
Marvel.
Yeah,
Marvel.
I can't I couldn't remember offhand, but if they brought him into the greater universe or worked him in some way, it'd make him cooler. I just don't like the ones that are like standouts. Like I think Deadpool will probably be a lot better if they bring him more involved in, even if it's like fourth wall still. But yet they if they just remain distant with it, then it's not going to work. But I wonder how Disney's going to do that, because Disney not a big.
Not that
I can't
cool,
see
Harker,
what rated R section on Disney Plus. That's going to be weird.
Ma, I want to watch. Wait, what even is it? Rated R?
I want to watch this Spider-Man one right here, Mom, because Spider-Man's so innocent. Oh, that doesn't look like Spider-Man, but sure, let's give it a try. Next thing you know, Timmy comes walking out of the room. His eyes are like pie plates. Oh, what happened?
Look at all this new knowledge and my power.
Gosh. So anyway, back to the sub-dub thing. Isaac's made his case for why he thinks subs are better. But now I'm going to go ahead and explain why they're not.
Did he make a case?
Not really.
It just comes down to personal preference and, true class.
Oh, yeah. I tip my fedora to you, fellow Redditor.
True class and intellectualism.
But anyways.
And precisely.
Let me explain. Here's the thing about dubs, okay? Here's the thing about subs. I've tried, okay? I've tried watching shows sub. I just can't do it. Because, here's the thing. I was watching My Hero Academia, too, right? I got to, halfway through Season 4, which I think is where the dub's at right now. And I just couldn't. I couldn't keep going. Because, I can't, there's moving pictures and text constantly going at the same time. How am I supposed to read and actively watch at the same time? It's impossible. You want me to watch two...
different. It's not
you want me to watch two things at the same time. How? And second of all, what's the point?
Built different.
And I don't speak Japanese. I'm not going to enjoy I want to watch the action as it unfolds. You know what I'm saying?
I follow you. I get it.
I do. Why do you watch it, Isaac?
It's I've seen some live action shows that I think that watching it subbed was a bad choice because I missed some of the nuances that took place. And face it, movies nowadays are all about the nuance. They're all about the little hidden gems that you can find in them. The sign in the background that has an actor's name on it, or a different show.
The next 5 seasons,
right? If you're watching Superman Returns, if you're watching The Dark Knight, right? For instance, and there's that one scene where the Batman versus Superman signs in the background. You're never going to catch that if you're watching it subbed. I mean, come on.
Guys.
Unless you're slowing it down and watching it at half speed.
Guys, I've figured out how we can fix this problem. We just need to go back to the good old days of cinema where it would be the scene and then they would show the text. The good old black and white films.
Yeah.
No, what you need to do is watch the movie in descriptive sound. Have you ever heard that? Where you can turn it on where it's for blind people to listen to a show. Yeah. And then they're real descriptive of everything. Sometimes it'll point out things that you wouldn't even catch when you're watching it with with vision. It's pretty entertaining sometimes. Anyway, that's been my new find recently. But it's just cool that there's technology out there that we can do this. I mean, back in the day, there was no subs, there was no dubs. I mean, there were probably subtitles, but I think a lot of foreign films have really come to light that have brought a lot more art to the environment that have been enjoyed through both subs and dubs. But I prefer a dub rather than a sub, as long as it's done professionally and well.
I feel like it's almost like family things. Whoever you start with, that's who you're going to stick with. Did you start watching anime dubbed? Or did you start watching anime subbed?
I started watching it dubbed, but that was when I was, I don't know. The first time I remember seeing anime.
Yeah, I feel like it's first impressions.
It was freaking Brad watching Naruto. And my young mind was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But I didn't really, I can't remember. I started watching Naruto just by myself, freshman year or something. You remember that, Isaac? Because that was hard to watch. And I just watched it dubbed because that's just how it default is on the streaming apps.
I'm too lazy.
Well, why would I change it to something I can't And part of it's why would I bother watching a sub? At that point, I'm just reading a manga. Why not just buy the manga and read it? You know what I mean?
No, I agree. Last time,
do it for free.
I agree. Last time we spoke about subs and dubs, and there was big controversy. There was something that was pointed out, and there's a genre of people who like to consider themselves intellectual because they watch subs.
Because I am.
And they're like, oh, it's the only way to do it. You just must do it.
I said,
I'm not
'cause
picking
I
on
am,
you, Isaac.
Hyrum.
But I've met people
I know you are,
on many
and I claimed
occasions
it.
that feel that way, and I'm just like, but why?
Why can't I just enjoy my anime in peace, Isaac?
Because I've experienced it
'Cause
subtitled,
you're terrible.
and
I
yeah,
hate
you
you.
can get a good storyline, but I don't think you're enjoying the art. Because I'm sorry, I can flash it up there. I can watch
Dangerous stuff comes from enjoying the
I say
arts.
we have a test. You watch the show in dubs and subs, and then afterwards we'll give you a quiz on what happened, and we'll see who picked up more on the art of the show.
All right, we got to pick a show.
Harker devised that
Isaac
test.
and I are
Get
going
on
to go
it.
head to head.
What?
Harker, pick
Well, hold on, that just
an
favors.
episode of a show.
No, I'm not saying dubs is any sort of better than subs, okay? It's my opinion. You can have your opinion, even though it's garbage. But...
Good on you, Isaac. Good on you.
Bless your soul.
Bless your
Oh,
soul.
bless his
You're
heart.
so young man.
Oh, gosh.
But I feel like it just favors. Like, I think I could pick up more from the actual storyline than, oh man, I noticed this subtle little sign in the background or this symbol that foreshadows. I feel like it favors more than that than just actually picking up on the story.
Well, no, I think you can still get the gist of the story if you're just reading it, right? Like you'll get the story itself as a broad general, but as far as with the emotion of the artwork that's being portrayed, I don't think you get that. Just like I don't think a lot of American-made shows that are in English that are, subtitled or dubbed over in Japan, I don't think there's a big cult following over in Japan to watch things that are subtitled from English. I'll bet that a lot of them prefer a dub because they're like the masters of it.
Although one thing that I can say is if you're watching a film in a language that you're still not like 100% in, and there are subtitles in that language, so say you're watching something in Spanish with Spanish subtitles, that can help a lot with some of the words you don't pick up properly, because of like speaking isn't exactly a clean, refined thing usually. And so it's really useful for that reason.
Now, I'm not saying that, all subs are bad or that, it's all trash. Like, I watched Train to Busan, which is only subbed, and it was a banger. It was a good movie. I can appreciate it. But for that, the dialogue wasn't as important. Like, it's a zombie movie.
Okay.
There's not
Okay.
that much dialogue.
I think we've whipped this horse to death. I think we need to move on to our next
In
topic.
conclusion,
What's wrong with
the
being a
best
dead
way to
horse?
watch anime is in Japanese originally, when you
it's
speak
dead.
Japanese. So that's why, guys, I hate to announce it, but I'm moving to Japan. I'm buying a katana and a fedora, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
Hey, look, if you learn
long
to
as you
speak
buy your own
Japanese,
plane
that's a
ticket.
that's a good thing.
What?
What's going on? I'm lost.
He said, if you learn how to speak Japanese, then I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then I could be like, a full weeb,
Guess we know.
Desko.
Guess we know where you're going.
I can convert to Japaneseism.
Sometime
geez.
after March.
Heaven
Sometime
help us.
after March, Hyrum will be going to Japan.
Yeah.
Isaac, where would you like to go? Any languages you'd like to learn?
Just
I'll put in a good word.
Okay, that's pretty much it.
All right, Harker, you got anything else for us?
I can't say that I do,
Swing it a minute. What? Did Isaac call you a loser?
You know what? I'm used to it. As anyone who's listened to this would know, that's a running theme. So I'm used to it by now.
Gosh, Isaac, you're hurting his feelings, and that's not cool.
Okay. I shake your hand, good sir.
Hyrum, do you have anything for us?
So, there's all kinds of great things going on in the world right now. And, one of the great things going on is that recently the new consoles came out. The PlayStation 5 and the Xbox... What's it called again? It's like, I don't know. It's like the Xbox Series 1X plus 5.
Series
Some
X,
bullcrap. Who
Series
cares?
X.
But the point is...
Immediately sold
there's
out.
like so many scalpers. And I can't bear with. What do you guys think about tech shortages?
Scalpers?
They're everywhere.
What do you mean? What
Like
do you mean by
tech
that?
scalpers,
Hyrum?
they get their hands on one and then they upcharge it.
I didn't mean it that way. I just...
Well, like here's my deal on it, right? So what business is it of the company that sells the product? So like let's just take the PlayStation 5 for example, right? What business is it of theirs if somebody buys their product and then was like, after they're all off, sold off, says, hey, I happen to have one. I'll sell it to you for $200 more than you can buy in the store if you want it right now. Otherwise, you can wait for one to be available.
See, in my opinion, it becomes a problem, though, when one guy buys 700 of them and is like, oh, you know what? Not a couple hundred more. It's literally $1,000. It's like twice the price. Get wrecked.
Yeah. That's what...
Well, that's when I think the local law enforcement can step in, or they can say, hey, one per customer. I know state law is there, and sometimes it prohibits you from setting limits on it, but...
Like, what's to stop people from just, like, building, like, just fake accounts over and over in order to resell them for a higher profit?
And here's the deal. How do you keep somebody from... I mean, essentially, at that point, you're saying, hey, look, you're buying these from a retailer. You're not a retailer. This is not appropriate. You're price gouging. That's against the law. Like, there's laws against that. So, I mean, if they break a law, great. If they're not breaking the law, then so be it. I mean, that person took the chance. They bought the 1,000 PlayStations. They might end up with, if everybody just says do not buy from them, and people aren't willing to spend $1,000, then so be it.
And they end up with like hundreds of PlayStations and no money.
Yeah, that's what they get their just deserves. But if people are dumb enough to buy them from them, then they get what they deserve there too.
Remember that story, like the beginning of quarantine, where the guy went in bulk bought like tons of hand sanitizer?
Yeah.
This reminds me a lot of that. Like, they know it's going to be highest demand, so they go out, they bulk buy it, and they just sell it back at a highly ramped up price.
But see, in that instance, you're talking about like a medical product that could be useful and is valuable in a way of protecting life, where I think a technology product doesn't meet that criteria.
PlayStation 5 will save me from my depression.
Yeah, dude, it is a medical product.
I bet.
It's going to give me a life.
I have crippling depression except for when I'm on my PlayStation.
It helps me escape my troubles in life.
I think your therapist is a bad one.
No, see, that's where you're wrong. His PlayStation is his therapist. Come on, get with the program here.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Try to keep up.
It's just like... And part of the thing is, like, why can't Sony just figure out that people want to buy more PlayStations? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't they want to sell more?
Well, that's like you saying, oh, you know what? Why can't people just figure out that people want to buy more insulin? Why can't they just make more? Like, it's not like it just appears out of thin air.
Still, though, that same argument goes for insulin. They could just make more. They could. They choose not to.
No, that's not how it works. You can't
they
just
keep the supply low in order to keep
No,
the
but
demand
it's
high.
not. It's forced scarcity. It's not actual scarcity, Harker. You don't understand. It's not like Sony's flying them out as fast as they can. They can't keep up. They're sitting on a mountain of PlayStation 5s, bro. They're just trickling them out. That way you have to get them from...
Yeah, there is a degree where the manufacturer themselves do that as well. I mean, realistically, the console itself, the technology, the equipment that's in it, it's overpriced.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, this is where PC gaming... and they're monopolizing on basically laziness and people not wanting to get involved, or they just want a little cute box there, does its thing. But PC gaming kind of rules in that, hey, I have a computer here, and guess what I can do? I can swap out a component and make it better, make it faster, make it all what I need it to do. And I don't have to buy a whole new set of games or discs because there's a compatibility issue.
Well, part of the thing with the consoles recently was they were selling them for actually less than they were worth. Because it was like, they were like trying to make the PC guys look retarded. Because they were like, oh, here's the thing. We'll sell.
I don't believe that.
No, it's real, though. When they were selling those Xbox Ones for like $300.
I think that they try to claim that to try to popularize their product. But I don't think it's true. I think that Sony has always made money on their stupid console.
Sony's never said that, right? Sony always tries to make it like you're buying a premium product, right? I mean, you're spending a couple $100. They don't want it to be like, oh. But the thing is, they tell you that way they can convince you like that it's going to be, cheap, when in reality you got to pay $60 a year for online service and $60 for each game.
Exactly.
When
and see, that's where that's where they're making their profits. Yeah, they may, as far as with R&D and development and all that, yeah, they're selling these consoles at a loss because look how much it took them to develop it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
in reality,
They're
come on, your profits are hardly being tapped by the purchase of the console.
Yeah. Most of their money doesn't come from the consoles, what I'm saying. It comes from the games and the online services. At least that's what I've heard. I don't like, man, the might
they
of
customize
PC gaming.
things. They build it in a way that you can't. Basically, you can accomplish the same processing power and the same level in a PC, but the way they build the consoles is they build them in a way that you can't repair them or replace them. It's just kind of, to me, it's kind of crooked.
Now, it's ridiculous that somebody would bother paying $60 for a console game when you can join the PC Master Race and pay only $150 for the Escape from Tarkov premium package.
And then you'll be able to aim and be able to hit your target.
Yeah, that Edge of Darkness edition. You get a little crown next to your name. It's nice.
Cha-ching.
Your name becomes yellow.
$150 well spent.
We are but simple folk. We like the simple pleasures in life here.
Simple ones. Anyway, I do have something that I've been pondering about lately. And have you guys ever heard of tap? Or like this is what I'm talking about is like replacement keyboards, right? Not just like buying a new keyboard, but like a new way of entering information. So rather than using a QWERTY keyboard, they have like different things. Of course, like speech to text, that's an option that's becoming bigger. Probably going to be kind of the way of the future as far as with communicating with your computer and doing searches. But I think there's always going to be an area where people are going to want to communicate with their computer, but not have it be through voice where everybody can listen to them, because that could be crazy in an office setting. But I was watching this new product, or it's not too new, but it's, not too old as well. And it's like a thing that goes on your fingers, and you can either put it on your left hand or your right hand, and you tap to type. And rather than, it's not like you have to tap or put your fingers in a different position, but no, like for each finger that taps, there's a different letter. But then each combination of fingers that you can tap, or different ways in which you do it, it gives you a different letter. And they say that like certain people with the app training that they have on them and that could be typing up to 30 words a minute, 60 words a minute within 5 hours. To me, I just think it's, I just don't know if it'd be worth some sort of investment into in learning something new, or is it just going to be something that's kind of like cool and niche for a while, but then it fades away like the CD?
Probably that. I think. I don't know. I don't know if that'll ever really go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm just waiting for those hologram keyboards from like the Avengers movies. Where Tony Stark's at his PC and he's like he like grabs his hands and like pulls out a hologram picture, and like that's what I'm looking for.
But there again, I mean, really, if you're gonna have the technology to have a holographic keyboard, you really gonna have it as a QWERTY keyboard?
Why not?
Like, why? If you have the technology that Tony Stark has, why can't it read your mind?
That's a bit scary. I don't want Ultron to know my thoughts.
Well, why can't you develop something like that where it like can, you can communicate to it non-auditorially?
Yeah, but then, do you know how bad proofreading something like that's going to have to be? Like, the average person can't maintain a thought process for more than a few minutes. So, like, you're just going to have a paper full of a bunch of random, like, oh, there's a bird outside. Like,
what was that?
I'm not saying that. I'm sure there can be some refinement in it, but that's like one of the problems they deal with speech to text, is that the way a person speaks typically isn't the way that they would write. And also on top of that, you have to say all the punctuation, or say whether you want it to be in all caps or lowercase, or, these different things. And so like really doing something significant like a paper or a book would be very difficult. But then again, like this tap keyboard where it's like kind of like a glove, but not really a glove. It just goes on your fingers, and that you have to learn a whole new way of kind of communicating the data to the computer aside from the keyboard. So do you guys think that like anything like that is relevant, or do you think that the keyboard's here to stay forever?
Well, have you seen like a stenographer? They're like the people who type the subtitles on things, and they don't use like a traditional keyboard. I think they like hand make their own. It's called a stenograph or something, and they can like I feel like they custom code it themselves,
it
right?
in some ways,
and it like they can type up to like 280 words per minute, like real time.
Yeah, like
insanely.
Yeah, they're
fast.
like the courtroom people that record like court hearings and whatnot.
But it doesn't even look like it's like a weird. It's like kind of like a normal keyboard, but it looks really strange.
Yeah. But like certain key pushes will like put a whole phrase in rather than just, I mean, they'll like, you could push 2 or 3 keys and it'll put a word or a phrase in, I believe is how those work. But I mean, this tap keyboard thing is so similar to that. Of course, it's still to the Roman characters, but from people that, but then again, I mean, it's $180. I think once the price comes down on that to around $50 or $40, then you might have some hope of really attacking the market.
Yeah, I mean, who's gonna pay $140 just for some, random weird keyboard thing they don't need to use and that they're not familiar with? You know what I'm saying?
Right, because of the learning curve and the unknown. I mean, it's for me. But I tend to be I tend to be an early adopter at some things, so I'll go for it. But
I'm a connoisseur.
Just curious as to what your thoughts were on that. Also, if Tap would like to send me one of their keyboards for free, feel free.
Well, I think that I can see the appeal behind it. It's just the kind of thing that the average person isn't going to have the motivation or the incentive to do.
Yeah.
I can see why it would be cool, but...
I agree, but the average person probably hasn't even mastered the QWERTY keyboard.
True, but they manage with it, you know what I mean? They just do what they need to do.
I mean, the other day I was talking to somebody and I said, hey, I said something like the QWERTY keyboard, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" I said, because we were talking about like a typing text on my phone, basically, you typing on a phone. I was like, "Oh, it's just a standard QWERTY keyboard. It makes it bigger." And they're like, "What? What's a QWERTY keyboard?" And I was like, "Just a standard keyboard." And they're like, "What? They make different keyboards?" Like, yeah. But I think that most people don't understand that the QWERTY keyboard gets its name because of the first 6 letters on the first row spells out QWERTY. So it's like,
it's really not that hard to understand.
But I'm like, okay, whatever.
It's because they're not gamers. Every gamer knows QWERTY like the back of his hand.
AWD.
You're forgetting the S?
Who needs an S? There's no going back.
Not one step back.
Not one step.
Well, everybody, it's been nice, and it's been perfectly copacetic. We will see you all later.
Feel free to email us at
copaceticpodcast@gmail.com.
copaceticpodcast@gmail.com with any questions or anything you would like us to speak about or talk about or discuss on the show.